Chapter 13. He is coming with the clouds. Caught up in the clouds. When the Lord of the second coming comes, it was said in 1 Thessalonians 4:17 that we will be caught up in the clouds together with them to meet the Lord in the air. These clouds are not clouds that can be seen. God said in Hebrews 1:13, "Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet." If we should be caught up in clouds that can be seen, would there be a reason for Jesus to wait until the enemies become a footstool? Until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet means that I become a servant of God. Until now, my thought was king. My lustful thought has always been an enemy that stood in front of God. But from now on, God causes that to bow down. When I bow down and say, "This person is God indeed," God's world perfectly stands. When He comes, the Word leads me from inside. God stands so my thoughts cannot go ahead of Him. Thus far, I could not receive the Word with the stir, so my thoughts had stood ahead. God comes to destroy the enemy that's inside of me. His second coming becomes fulfilled from inside the spirit of humans. Because the Word falls inside of man's spirit, the restoration of Eden is also inside of man's spirit. God searches for His land, a place where thankfulness and joy arise. If God stands inside of me, I change into a person of God. Clouds are the glory and splendor of God, and they are God Himself. God is precisely the Word. The Word rests upon me, and I unite with God. That I am caught up in the clouds means I'm pulled up to the inside of the Word. If I go up inside the Word, I am a person who has already thrown away my thought and my lust. I am a person who has unclothed the earth. God is inside of the Word. So the place that receives the Word, that is, the inside of man's spirit, is a glorious place. He is coming with the clouds. When the Lord of the second coming comes, He is coming with the clouds, as Revelation 1:7 states. Clouds refer to glory. Glory refers to the highest, and the highest is God. He is someone who is to receive the highest glory. Glory is when the Word goes inside the spirit of man, overcomes the lust and thought of man, and comes out. Such glory was expressed as clouds. My lust is land, but when the Word enters inside me, I unclothe this land. That I unclothe this land means I do not interfere and God appears. This is referred to as air. If I am on top of the clouds, it means that I am inside of the Word. Clouds is God's glorious Word. If the lustful eye becomes perfect in matters of sin and matters of righteousness, I am pulled up inside the glory of the Word. God's glory and splendor rest inside me. If the Word rests inside my spirit, my lustful eye dies. The Word comes alive and a sprout bursts out. The Word and the life inside my spirit meet from inside my spirit. God's perfection rests. When was John the Baptist's head taken before the king? In the flesh, the king is Herod, but spiritually, King Herod refers to God. When the daughter of Herodias danced before the king, Herod became intoxicated by her dance and said to her in Mark 6:23, Whatever you ask me, I will give you, even half of my kingdom." She did not request half the land, but requested John's head. John's head is God, and John did half the work of God's kingdom. Half the kingdom is not half of a kingdom that can be seen. That Herodias' daughter requested John's head means she requested half of God's kingdom. At the time of the second coming, not half the kingdom, but God's entire perfect kingdom must come. Now, God does not say, "I will give you half my kingdom." He will say, "I will give you all of my kingdom." The second coming is the perfection of God's kingdom. For us too, it is now the time where we must dance before the King. Then God will say, "As much as you want, I will give you the entire kingdom." When God's things perfectly come out, God does not say He will give me half. God will say that as much as we want, God will give us the entire kingdom. The entire kingdom refers to God's rest, that is, the second coming. When matters of righteousness and matters of sin are perfectly fulfilled, it is the time of God's perfection. God is the Word, and the time now comes when I can see with my eyes that the Word reigns. When I have resurrected through the resurrection of Jesus, the entire kingdom, that is, the second coming, comes. My resurrection is when I have unclothed my worries, anxieties, and troubles. My resurrection is when I have unclothed my worries, anxieties, and troubles, and I dance in perfect thankfulness, joy, and peace. The second coming is the perfection of heaven. It is not half the kingdom, but the whole entire kingdom. That God raised His right hand through Jesus is half the kingdom. But when God raises His left hand through our resurrection, it is the entire kingdom. That is, a perfect kingdom that rests inside us. When God raises His left hand, the perfection of God rests upon us.